J'ai le virus de planter des arbres. Ça me plaît beaucoup. Ici, c'était un dépotoir d'ordures ménagères. Du fait que les villageois ne savaient pas qu'est-ce que c'est que l'importance de la forêt, ils prenaient leurs ordures et les déposaient. En ce moment, je leur ai sensibilisé de leur dire que l'arbre doit vivre comme nous, donc il ne faut pas salir l'arbre. C'est ce que nous a donné l'impact positif pour avoir ici un périmètre pour cultiver. Le 2 mai, allez voir les eaux et forêts qui nous ont attribué 500 mètres carrés. On a initié, intégré les femmes dans un AGR. Et avec ça, on a choisi le maraîchage. On était à 3 hectares, mais on ne cultive pas sous la déguerpie et on est à 2 hectares.
Si on fait travailler ces femmes dans cette forêt, c'est pour qu'elles prennent également soin de cette forêt. Non seulement ça permet de fertiliser les sols, mais ça permet également de les autonomiser économiquement à travers la vente de fruits.
Tous les arbres fruitiers que vous voyez, c'est nous qui l'ont planté. Chaque année, on y récoltait plus de 60 kilos.
Merci beaucoup. Que ce sont des dames très dynamiques, des dames très braves, qui subissent de plein fouet les effets des changements climatiques. Nous, on vient en rescousse pour informer, pour sensibiliser sur des solutions, la promotion de bonnes pratiques. Pour les cas pires, c'est également l'apparition de nouveaux parasites quotidiens et un participement à la dégradation. Nous, on essaie aujourd'hui dans les périmètres.
Si les femmes l'acceptent, on veut faire un projet de pépinière dans les alvéoles pour alléger les travaux.
La femme est à l'image de la terre. Ce sont des vrais écoféministes qui sont là, qui sont engagés pour la protection et la
forêt, c'est nous et nous, c'est la forêt.
If the essence of government is the security and welfare of the people, then as long as there's plenty, poverty is evil. Affluent poverty. That's what we live in Nigeria. We're living in affluent poverty. The news recently broke that a British international primary school, Charterhouse, located somewhere in Lekki, Lagos, was charging as much as 42 million per annum as school fees for its pupils. What country like ours? However, they claim that the school fees are currently 26 million naira per annum and not 42 million. Oh boy, now wow. 26 million as school fees per annum for Wendy primary school in a poor country. They can't even pay 30,000 naira as minimum wage. And many of our public schools in the country are public slums. And unemployment rate is frightening as fraud is now celebrated as a profession. 26 million. Well, I know some of you will go to defend them now. They say, if education is expensive, try ignorance. And others will say, well, it's the school is attended by expatriate, kids of expatriate. Even at that, not before Nigeria make the money, whether they pay the expatriate salary, must education be beyond the poor country like Nigeria, where the attitude of 6 million naira for a kid in primary school. That means you go pay 62 million naira for that kid in secondary school. And maybe 112 million for the same child when he enter university. And then the child will graduate, there won't be jobs. and then you see child abroad. Is that not overhead? Go to countries like Poland, Germany, Czech Republic. Charles University and the University of Warsaw are some of the cheapest universities where top-tier programs are offered at an affordable rate. Although universities in all the Nordic countries are relatively affordable, but public universities in Norway remain free for everybody from both within and outside the EU, with the exception of a few specialized programs. But here in Nigeria, go to Edo University in Iyamo. It is ranked as the most expensive state-owned university in Nigeria. Yet, the other state university, Edo State University in Ekpoma, under the previous administration of Godwin Obaseki, suffered from lack of infrastructure and adequate funding until the recent administration in Edo. So what that means is simply this: rich separated themselves from the poor. Now, whatever the craze those days about British International School. But with the current school fees of 4.6 million and 6.8 million, for boarding, I guess the super rich now, when they pay 26 million as school fees of primary school children, would think, so government go look the other way in a poor country, we no job despite the expensive school, and you expect people not to steal? Yeah, well, what am I even saying? What can government do? When even Nile University in Abuja, where most of our government officials and politicians, they go, especially in law, no come cheap. Tithe and offering from members to build schools. Most of these members that contributed the tithe and offering cannot afford to send their children to these schools. So what do you expect? Even recently, remember University in Isiokpo in Rivers State found out that as the most expensive university in Nigeria, with school fees ranging from 12 million naira, and some of these fees are priced in dollars. And our government is pretending to be looking for solution to our dollar problem, while they turn a blind eye to this open segregation in a country where our collective welfare is supposed to be their responsibility. Oh boy, to your tent, oh Israel. You won't blame them though. Don't you see how we openly spray monies in parties as if money is going out of faction? So that's why they think we are rich. Yet, there are no roads to our villages and insecurity is ravaging the country. Even as our public officials drive dilapidated road and public slums in exotic and expensive cars, the cars will neither produce nor sell. Yet, my police, where the future generations are either emerged in prostitution, hookup, or fraud, I beg no verse, yahoo, as a means of livelihood. Outrageous display of affluent poverty, you would say. This is the reason why some properties without infrastructure around them in some area, some area never get road, apart from the fact that there's so much money to waste, are so expensive and priced in dollars in places like Maitama, Sokoro, and environs in Abuja, and Banana Island, and in some places in Lagos, in a poor country like Nigeria, than properties in Miami waterfront in rich America. So no matter how much we all condemn or criticize these things, it will not go away, because the reality is that most Nigerians want to be like these people who are physically rich but mentally poor. As we only criticize them when we are poor, but the moment we become rich or hold public office, we will create segregation, poor and the rich. We move over to expensive slums like Lekki, send our children to special schools, meant only for the rich, occupy government positions and steal public funds, with expensive cars without identifiable or sustainable means of livelihood, and display wealth irresponsibly and spray endlessly at parties. That's just our life. So, go stop. So if I like, anyway, check those occupying public offices today. Between 12 years ago, they were most men, but today, they are all in government and repeating exactly what they once criticized, even if not even worse. So I will therefore advocate, until we see government as a vehicle for public good, social justice, creating job opportunities, infrastructural development, quality, and a vehicle for impacting our community positively, people will continue to chase wealth, material possession as a way of life, and end up not living at all. Government must take job creation as a priority and endeavor to consciously and consensuously celebrate and compensate hard work, and create regulation in every sector to avoid a society of wealth without work. The attitude where government officials are at the forefront of displaying affluence in the midst of poverty must be discouraged, as it pushes people to acquire wealth without work. Lastly, our orientation should help improve our mindset to the fact that voluntary service helps write our name in gold. Even when we die, our name will be so engraved in the heart of the world that time will never erase it. Well, I don't want to talk too much. Make I pause and here to enable you to contribute. In all our social media posts, share the message so that we can collectively change our society. For no matter how expensive education is, without commensurate effort to promote and create job opportunities, you will still end up as poor. No be me talker. Remember, the luxuries of today are the necessities of tomorrow. See you next week.
Many thanks for joining us on the newsroom. I'm Okpayemi Uwosheni, and these are the stories we're tracking at the moment. Ghanaian President John Mahama on Thursday counter the visit, the first since his inauguration on January 7th, is to brief Tinubu, who also doubles as the chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, on his recent visit to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic. Briefing journalists, the Ghanaian leader said he was in Nigeria to keep Tinubu updated on diplomats with the military junta leaders of Mali, Niger Republic, and Burkina Faso, aimed at addressing regional security and stability. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has Babajide Sanwo-Olu for the 2023 election. Atiku was a presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, described a report that he received money from Sanwo-Olu, who is a key member of the All Progressive Congress, as a blatant lie from the pit of hell. The state also said that Atiku does not know Sanwo-Olu and has never met the Lagos State governor before the election. Marking Friday after the city was hit by a major earthquake centered in Myanmar. Damage was reported to buildings across Bangkok after the 7.7 magnitude quake, including a 30-story building under construction, skyscraper that collapsed its north. Djokovic turned on the Miami Open in Koda, becoming the oldest to reach a Masters 1000 early to get a first-set advantage that he never let slip break. To my newsroom at this time, we'll update you at the top of the hour.
Opinion. Facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How
It's been 42 years now since St. Ambrose's Catholic Secondary School was established by the Catholic Church before it was taken over by the government. Several students have passed through the four walls of the school, just as several administrative staff have come and gone. But the one thing that has remained largely unchanged: infrastructure and teaching facilities in the school. Year by year, things got worse. Classroom buildings began giving way. The classrooms themselves became inconducive for both teaching and things were literally in an abject state.
We have been managing teaching. Even when the rain is falling, the rain will be falling inside the classroom. We cannot abandon teaching. At times we mass students together when there is no conducive classroom. During the tenure of the past principal, Mr. Ogunbadejo Fola. So when he came to the school, he discovered that things not be going on like this. Some buildings are collapsed. The parents are not able to do anything concerning it. So we be folding, and then every year, the roofing have been taking away a lot of money. So he now decided to go spiritual by calling upon God. So every Thursday of every month, we used to gather calling upon God of some old students. We got the name from one of the host students called KK. We wrote their name on the pieces of paper during the prayer time for God to compel them to come.
Either by divine intervention or mere coincidence, something happened. One of the old students of the school decided to pay a visit. Multiple award-winning journalist Deji Bademosi graduated from the school 26 years ago as the senior prefect of the 1994 set.
I went there to do a story on the dilapidated state of the school. And there's a project we're actually doing, a project that I'm actually doing, known as Track Nigeria, being supported by the MacArthur Foundation. So the whole idea for me initially was to go there and highlight the dilapidated state of the school so that I could call the attention of the government to the situation there and to see if the government could at least come in there to help address the infrastructural problem there. But you know what, there, and because that I was touched. You know, I just felt rather than tell the story and wait for the government to do something, that at least I could do something to help. I was really touched, and I decided, well, that at least we could do some renovation. So the whole idea was, okay, go there, renovate, and that was how it started.
An engineer was contracted to commence work on the site, but little did they know that the structure required more than the planned renovation due to the severity of the damage.
When I got there, all the foundation was already above the ground level, meaning that you can even be seeing the foundation footing already outside exposed, which anything can happen. The building can collapse at any time. After opening the space for the column and the second day, you know, the building is weak already, even with the exposure of the foundation, I said. So one side of the classroom gave way immediately.
The only thing we could do to salvage the situation, pull down the entire building and, you know, build a new one. And for me, that was something really huge. It was not something that I had actually planned for, considering the cost implication. So I summoned courage and I said, you know what, okay, you guys go ahead, pull the building down, we'll put up a new building.
It was a tough decision, but certainly worth it. The reconstruction officially kicked off in August 2019 under the direct supervision of one of the alumni of the school,
we left here like 26 years ago, and there was no any kind of maintenance since we left. So I supervised the building right from the scratch to where it is today, all to the glory of God.
As new buildings started to take shape, all the remaining dilapidated blocks of classrooms and abandoned them to decay.
As one building was getting completed, I looked at it again and I felt, well, I said, you know what, I looked at my pulse and I said, well, maybe I could just try the second one. And then the second one came down, the old building now came down, and we started work on the second one. And then the third one as well, you know, one of the old students there came to me and said, look, supposing I provide blocks for the foundation, you know, and then, you know, build it up to lintel level, would you be able, would you mind to just take it over from there? And I was like, okay, let's see how it goes. Because I knew it was going to cost a lot of money, but, you know, that was how the third building started. Then there was land to have a toilet. But then I felt, look, it wouldn't be nice at all to have these new buildings, the students there, and then they have no place to go ease themselves, and they have to make use of the bush. Again, I summoned courage. Let's put up there, and the toilet facility came up. So right there now we have 10 toilets. I then thought, if you have a toilet, how then do you get water to service the toilet? And the school has no borehole. The school has a well that dries up during the dry season. And then, again, not planned for initially. Remember, I started by saying we wanted to do just one building. Not planned for. So I said, okay, let's get the borehole.
After the borehole, then came the landscaping and flooring of the school. As the school continued to get a facelift, it was almost unbelievable for staff and students who watched their wish become a reality.
It's a thing of joy to me. But on a daily basis, when I come to school, I have to look down and see the buildings, which is not common, it's one in town. I was made to know that there is no school that is having this type of building. No school. Is it the restroom? Is it the classroom? Is it the offices? Is it the type of furniture there? It is second to none, I must confess, and I'm very happy. In fact, about 5 teachers called me, sir, how can I get my transfer to your school?
And we start everything together. You understand? The foundation, the building, the roofing, the plastering, the painting, and everything. I was there with them, being one of the host students. By the time our students see what is going on in the school, they were all happy. You understand? By the time we want to do little works there, I have to call them. This is your class. You are going to use this class. So what can you people do for us? And they were happy in helping us. Packing sand, gravel, you know, all these things, little things that they can do with joy. You know, in fact, they were happy doing it for us, being their school. And I believe by the time we are going for new section now, we are going to have more students.
I felt so proud that at least I could contribute in my own little way to this development. This project is single-handedly done by one person, a God-sent person, who is done. He doesn't get free money from me. How to get this money for any profit? Like I asked us, we said, bro, what are you even doing? He said, Maurice, I'm doing it for God and for humanity's sake. That look, I don't need all these students for anything in my life. I don't need them to survive. I don't need them to get to any position. But someday, my children might need them. It's a very good thing. It's really done well. I feel so proud to be part of 94 set. I feel so proud to be a friend to Deji Bademosi for all what he's done. And I feel so proud to be part of this project.
The school, which was once looked down on, has now become a point of reference and top choice for people in the community.
People passing on the road, they were actually branching at who school we have been seen. So look at the design, look at the space that we managed to get. We have a room, corridor with a staircase that can easy the going and coming of the students. So it's a new, in fact, the fact that is there make it far better.
Makes me happy that this is a good environment, and this will also enhance their quick grasp of whatever has been taught in school, makes them relax. You are safe. They feel safe now. I think the last time we went there, we saw the building. I couldn't imagine how they could understand what the teacher is saying. But one, you're not sitting well. You're either standing and you're receiving your lecture, or you're sitting with somebody. But with what we have, I think the student will be well in a good environment.
Many young ones now, they are planning for sit and brush. Before, you see some parents, when they are passing by, they used to say, that's what they used to say in our language. I myself then, I cannot say this is my school. But now, I can boast. This is the school I passed out from. So I'm very, very happy, and I'm using this medium to thank the department for what they have done for our school. He rebuilt our school, and God will rebuild his life.
With the junior classes, also referred to as downhill, now wearing a new look, the school authority, in addition to their great show of appreciation, are appealing for the extension of this gesture to the senior secondary classes of the school as well.
Permit me to ask like an Oliver twist. If this structure could continue to the senior section, it would be very good. Not somebody living in a modern building, coming to a leaking classroom, a classroom where there's no fan, a classroom where there's no, in fact, dusty, stinking, rotten chairs. The chalkboard is even not good. It will not be so good. Permit me to tell you that we don't have laboratories in the school. Every classroom in this school is leaking. It's dusty, using this way. But if you care to look at them, you will not like them. So will it be for a student that is graduating from junior section to senior section? It will be demoralizing.
For the man who has single-handedly done all of these, his primary goal is to pass a strong message across all students and the general.
My hope and intention, when the government, or if the governor comes, he would at least see what it has done as some kind of motivation to do something, and not just for the government now to do something, but also important for other old students to take a cue. I mean, those who have, been blessed to at least take a cue. And what I tell people is, you really, I'm not a rich person, I'm not rich. It cost me so much. And, but you really don't have to be rich to do certain things. So as an old student, even if it's just a block or two you're able to contribute, that would go a long way. And also very important is that, people have always said journalists always take, they don't give. And this is to disprove that. The journalists we don't just report situations. So sometimes, journalism could make you do some very unexpected things. Do I plan to do more in the future? Yes, by the special grace of God, because to some extent, we are actually the government. So whatever, as individuals, whether individuals or collectives, not in government, whatever it is we can do to help make our society better, we should do it.
China and Africa, advancing together and planting the seeds of their dreams in the vibrant and hopeful landscape of the 21st century. Nurturing these seeds with friendship and cultivating with sincere dedication, setting an example of cooperative partnership grounded in a shared destiny, are seeds that are bound to grow and bear fruit. Under the same starry sky and with a vision for the future of all humanity, the people of China and Africa are expanding their horizons and extending their reach, moving forward together toward a future brimming with boundless hope. This is Inkoa Stelgen, an international student from the Republic of the Congo at the University of Jinan. Today's the big day, the day of his PhD dissertation defense.
除了结婚之外的另外一个大任务，所以现在我的心情都很复杂。
Inkoa Stelgen was born in a mountainous village in the northern region of the Republic. In 2012, his alma mater, Marienne Ngawabi University, partnered with the University of Jinan to establish a Confucius Institute. Inkoa Stelgen enrolled as one of the institute's first students. 3 years later, he began an 8-year journey as an international student in the University of Jinan.
下面我们就单一操作，就这个50页我给你答辩。
各位老师、各位同学，大家下午好，我是来自刚果部的曹格，我可能要用英语开始讲我的 PPT。That is coming from。我还记得我上小学的时候，我天天打仗，就是跟同学，然后他们为了调笑我，他们也可以模仿我走路的那个样子，对。然后我一看了，我就跟你拼命了。我知道我跟别人长得不一样嘛。 只有学习这一条路。
But at the University of Jinan, Inkoa Stelgen didn't just focus on learning Chinese. He chose a more challenging path.
非洲，但是都是没有把这个水处理好的技术，所以来中国的目的也是把处理水的过程中学好，然后将来回国，哪怕是去别的国家，我就要是给老百姓服务，也给他们一个美好的生活吧，就不用生病。
答辩委员会经过评议及无记名投票表决，一致同意通过曹格博士学位论文答辩，建议授公学博士学位。非常感谢。
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Having risen to the challenges he has set himself, Inkua Stelgen is now heading toward a bright future. Inkua Stelgen's home has also undergone significant changes in recent years. Sino-Congolese cooperation projects like the National Road No. 1, the China-Congo Friendship Hospital, the Kintele Sports Complex, and the Confucius Institute at Marian Ngoabi University, Inkua Stelgen's alma mater, have This summer, to celebrate his graduation, Inkua Stelgen embarked on a trip. He chose to visit a place he'd long dreamt of visiting.
朋友们，下午好。下午好。听说过刚果共和国吗？非洲。听说过。哦，我作为一个大学生，给小朋友介绍一下我们的刚果，好不好？好。OK。
2010年，这里曾发生过可怕的大地震，那时候我的国家没有袖手旁观，刚果和中国就是我两个家，遇到困难时两个家互相帮助，互相支持，生活在两个家的我真好啊。
After the 2010 Yushu earthquake in Qinghai province, the Republic Congo donated 16 million yuan to build the Sino-Congolese Friendship Primary on the roof of the world, despite their own limited financial resources. A gesture of warmth, opening a new chapter in the history of China-Congo friendship.
Bonjour Congo.
Bonjour Congo.
Bonjour la Chine.
Bonjour la Chine.
那先拿你的本。
在这所学校，我最好的朋友是图当公宝，他带我去食堂吃他最喜欢吃的炒土豆，还带我去他的宿舍看他整齐的床铺，还带我去他的圣地，一个神秘之他的家。
吃饭，宿舍里。
我让他用相机随便拍一些什么送给我，我一辈子记住他。
就是这样3舅舅的摩托，4舅舅的小汽车，那是我们的30个篮板，刚果部。
One is an African university student from the heart of the Congo Basin, and the other is a primary school student living on the Qinghai Xizang Plateau. Despite vastly different homelands, they formed an extraordinary friendship. Standing together to overcome difficulties, this is the friendship between nations, between China and Africa, reflected in individual lives, meeting full of possibilities. Tsavo National Park in Kenya is home to nearly all of Africa's animal species. With its unspoiled culture, this captivating land draws countless visitors from around the world. But there's a problem. The hotels within the park have long struggled with power shortages.
And we used to do generator power for just a few hours. So by 10 in the night, we have to switch off the generator. Guests were really inconvenienced. They couldn't charge their phones. They couldn't use the fans in the room. So if it is hot, it is hot.
Unfortunately, China-Kenya cooperation is supplying issues. Now, promoting the development of clean energy, solar panels are going up everywhere. The result is a steady supply of electricity pulsing into remote areas, much to the relief of Victor O. Yang and his guests. With a shared vision for the future of all humanity, China and Africa have chosen to join hands on the path. Whether it's sun or ever-flowing rivers, these natural energy resources are being harnessed in China-Africa green energy cooperation projects. The result, clean energy flowing continuously across this beautiful land, lighting up lives and the way to the future. In 2018, in the heart of Morocco, the city of Ouarzazate, known as the gateway to the Sahara, saw the completion and launch of the world's largest solar thermal power plant, a joint project between China and this plant now meets the electricity needs of over 1 million Moroccan households and can even export surplus power to Europe. With this transformation from an electricity importer to an exporter, Morocco, in partnership with China, has strengthened its commitment to developing the renewable energy sector. Omar Hassani, now 37 years old, joined a Chinese new energy company 3 months ago. Today is the day of his evaluation, marking the end of his probation period.
We will invite you to present what you did during your probation period with a PPT, and then we will ask you a few questions.
Actually, I was recruited as a quality manager. For my education background, I studied a bachelor degree in aeronautic engineering at Beijing University of Aeronautic and Astronautic, Beihang University.
Success. Omar Hassani has got through evaluation, a full of the team at last. The Chinese company he chose first new lithium-ion batteries. Automotive industry. Opals hold the key to the automotive sector. China's leading new energy industry is actively seeking broader development opportunities.
我们到摩洛哥投资的这个工厂应该是我们第5代，所以我们是带来最新的技术，不光是我们自己过来，还顺便会带来我们上下游的配套的供应商、合作伙伴。 对摩洛哥汽车产业是一个非常好的补充。
But it's not just a big day for Omar Hassani. Thousands of miles away at the BTR factory in Jiangsu province, China, another important test is underway.
这是控制电池的循环，应该是提升3个点。
Yannick, the project leader for the Morocco initiative, is overseeing his team as they test the performance of battery materials.
真正在摩洛哥量产的时候，我们一个是要稳定住现有的状态，另外在新一代产品，我们在这基础上再进一步的再提升一个层次。
This modern production line will soon be fully established in the Tangier tech city in Morocco.
We will start another.
As a major milestone in the high-quality China-Morocco Belt and Road Initiative, Tangier Tech City has drawn numerous Chinese new energy companies. These companies will introduce world-leading industry chains and clusters in fields such as renewable energy and electric vehicle batteries, helping Morocco build a modern green future and advancing global efforts in sustainable, low-carbon development.
I love the poetry of it, you know, the green mountains, the lucid waters, silver and gold. Important China's action abroad in this matter is very important. I've referenced renewable energy. It's remarkable that China has made these commitments and is exceeding the commitments on renewable already now.
Ethiopia, situated on the East African plateau at an average altitude of nearly 3,000 meters, is often referred to as the roof of Africa. Southwest of the capital, Addis Ababa, is an export processing industrial park invested in by a Chinese company, which is primarily focused on. At 55, Teka Entehabu is a regular visitor to this industrial park. As the former Minister of State at Ethiopia's Ministry of Trade and Industry, he frequently visits industrial parks to assess production conditions. Teka understands that for Ethiopia to thrive, manufacturing must be prioritized.
Our objective, or the policy objective, was to one export, but unfortunately we could not meet the intended result. So I tried to link also the experience of China with our challenges.
In search of solutions to the country's developmental challenges, 3 years ago, Teka Entehabu went to Peking University's Institute of South-South Cooperation and Development to study for his PhD.
This is our flag. You know, this is the Ethiopian flag. Yeah.
Founded in April 2016, the Institute of South-South Cooperation and Development is dedicated to between China and developing high-level government management world. The Institute cooperation with South-South countries, moving from financial and infrastructural support to the exchange of development wisdom and ideas, thereby enhancing contributions to global South-South cooperation efforts.
We cannot directly copy the China development model, but we can learn more and we can try to take some lessons, experiences, and we can apply to our country based on the situation, the environment we have in our countries.
Wang Yong, the Dean Peking University's PhD advisor.
Teka 的话，他原来当过这工业贸易部的这个国部长嘛，所以他对于贸易、对于产业一直是关注的，所以他们是带着问题来，但他是带着国际的比较来的。
To understand China's experience, one must return to the starting point of its development. Before returning to Ethiopia, Teka Entehabu visited Xinjiang. Xinjiang is the birthplace of Xinjiang experience, a key success story from China's reform and opening up. Teka hopes to find development. In the past more than 40 years, Chendai town in Xinjiang has seen the emergence of over 7,000 shoe companies and supporting businesses. One company miraculously grew from a small family workshop into a billion-dollar publicly listed enterprise.
It's possible for the textile and garment,
sure,
you know.
Yeah.
Is
so
that
this is initial, initial picture.
That's 1982?
Yeah. Yes, it's 1982.
Okay.
So this is not
we're
so proud. Why it's called the Xinjiang experience? Just because a small business, how they can doing their initiatives to create their own advantage and success, and then work together to become a stronger one, and with the support from the government. Yes.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Xinjiang experience. Yeah. So this is a big lesson for us also. We need to work closely with the enterprise to fulfill the common vision to bring the development of the country.
This summer, 35 students from 19 countries will graduate from the Institute of South-South Cooperation and Development. Over its 8 years, the Institute has trained over 400 high-caliber individuals for the governments of more than 70 developing countries, providing vital intellectual support for the modernization of their national governance systems and capacities.
I'm so keen, you know, to bring some changes in my country. I need to make some differences in my country development. That's the motive of every student in the South-South Corporation.
In 40 years, China went from being very poor to being very, very successful, dynamic economy. So I think China has a very big role to play as showing the path of how to achieve rapid development.
South-South cooperation is a remarkable initiative that promotes collective self-reliance among developing countries. As a leading member of the Global South and the largest developing nation, China remains dedicated to its mission of collaborating with other developing countries. This dedication is why China-Africa cooperation not only endures as a lasting friendship, but also serves as a model for South-South collaboration. With high aspirations, China-Africa cooperation looks to the future, aiming for new heights and endless possibilities. In March 2019, tropical cyclones ravaged Africa. Mozambique, among other countries, was especially badly affected, suffering severe flooding. 2 years later, in August 2021, Algeria faced devastating forest fires, resulting in major, but bad as these worse were it not for China's meteorological and communications satellites orbiting the Earth. These provided timely and precise disaster warnings and information services to the affected countries, helping rescue teams save countless lives. Additionally, the deepening of China-Africa space technology cooperation has rekindled dreams that once seemed out of reach. On June 13, 2023, at Egypt's Space City in New Cairo, Professor Rafi, who is over 70 years old, is awaiting the result of the electrical performance test for the MisaSat-2 flight model.
Of course, Egypt is a dream related to space projects or space activities.
Professor Rafi is an expert in theoretical research and equipment testing in Egypt's space sector. Throughout his 4-year career, he's lamented the independently developed satellite by the Egyptian Space Agency.
Our main dream is to make our own satellite, to develop our own satellite from A to Z.
As early as 1997, Egypt planned to develop its own satellite. However, due to technological barriers, this goal was never achieved. Nowadays, however, the failures that once haunted Professor Rafi are rapidly fading from view, overshadowed by the changes unfolding before him. Cui Yufu, the chief designer from the Chinese team for the MisaSat-2, leads the Chinese testing team, influenced by the changes unfolding before him. Cui Yufu, the chief designer from the Chinese team for the MisaSat-2, leads the Chinese testing team in come true. On December 4th, 2020, the MisaSat-2 satellite was successfully launched from the Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center. This represents another landmark achievement in China-Egypt cooperation. It's also a milestone for Egypt, African country with full satellite assembly, integration, and testing capabilities. Today, as China steadily advances toward becoming a space power, it warmly invites institutions and scientists from developing countries, including those in Africa, to join in space research, collaboratively cultivate cutting-edge talent, and work together on projects that will shape the future of humanity. Together, they explore boundless hopes for a brighter future within the infinite possibilities of the cosmos. At 6 a.m., while that's waiting for the morning light, engineers from China and South Africa are already preparing to set out. Their destination is a desert area more than 100 kilometers from the town.
我叫张磊，来自中国电科54所，我们单位呢在河北省的石家庄。 然后我们这个团队呢，就是在南非呢，就是负责承建 SKA 天线。
The town of Carnarvon is located in the central Karoo Basin of northern Cape Province, South Africa. 20 years ago, this place was virtually unknown. Today, however, this once quiet town has become a hub for scientists and engineers from around the world, all drawn here by a groundbreaking scientific project. The SKA, or Square Kilometre Array, is a radio telescope with a total receiving area of 1 square kilometre. It is the largest aperture synthesis radio telescope ever constructed by humanity. This is the Meerkat radio telescope, which consists of 64 antennas. It is one of the precursor missions to the SKA. South Africa, selected as the site for the SKA, provides both the land and infrastructure needed for its construction. After 5 years of extensive preparation, in 2015, the China Electronics Technology Group Corporation's Network Communication Research Institute emerged victorious in the design competition for the SKA's mid-frequency antennas. Capturing radio waves from the universe requires extremely precise equipment.
如果我们不能够把自己的辐射水平控制在限制以下的话，我们的这个自身设备的辐射会淹没来外太空的信号。那么可以说 SKA 的天线观测就是失败的。
To enable humanity to explore deeper into the night sky, countless individuals are working quietly behind the scenes.
看，我们从13年到现在，这都已经11年的时间了，我们还在改进呢，还在做验证呢。所以说，你看，就说明这个的要求是世界上独一无二的，是前所未有的难度跟挑战。
The successful development of the SKA antenna represents a significant contribution to world science. China is forging ahead in the development of cutting-edge antennae for the good of all.
Is to give us a brand new step increase in our ability to see the universe and see things that they've never been able to see before, and possibly understand a little bit of how we fit and how everything comes together. And that's going to be a very powerful legacy for generations to come.
As scientists gaze at the stars and reach for the edges of the universe, the spirit of science is revitalizing this once neglected town of Carnarvon.
And the game starts 3, 2, 1, let's go!
The Robotics Schools program, a unique initiative launched by the South African Radio Astronomy Observatory, aims to develop and inspire an interest in STEM skills in the schools around the development of the Square Kilometre Array.
The reason that I joined the robotics is because that I want to become an engineer.
My dreams are to be an astronomer. So I like watching the stars and learning more about planets and others.
I'm looking forward here and give them opportunities in Carnarvon.
Dreams are the preserve of those who never stop looking up at the stars, even if their feet are firmly on the ground and caked in mud. Through all the storms and challenges, China and Africa have consistent by each other. They support one and operate for mutual benefit in development. They achieve shared prosperity through exchanges and mutual learning between their civilizations. They are friends, partners, and brothers. Bosom friends make distance disappear. China and Africa are joining hands to advance modernization, create a better future for their people, nurture new hope for the world, example in building all humanity.
Many thanks for joining us again on the newsroom. I'm Okbayemi Owosheni, and these are the stories we're tracking at the moment. Nigeria their commitment threatening by random over the Permanent Technical Advisory Group. This is contained in a statement issued by a principal morning, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense. To underscore the strong defense ties between at the Chief of Defense Civil Military Relations at the Defense Headquarters, Rear Admiral Olusonya Bankole, in issues that caused the incident. However, he disclosed that the behavior seen in the video does not in any way represent the attitude of the Nigerian military. And ahead of Eid al-Fitr celebration, the Sultan of Sokoto and the of the Council for Islamic Affairs, Muhammad Abubakar, has asked Muslims across the country to look out for the new moon Shawwal 46 AH on Saturday, 9/2025. The Sultan made the call in a statement to newsmen on Friday by the Waziri of Sokoto, Sambo. The of the new moon will determine the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and socialite Aisha Achimugu wanted. The agency spokesperson Yewale made this known in a substance. Achimugu is wanted by the agency in an alleged case of criminal conspiracy and money laundering. In the world of House of Representatives has stated that the final Council Act of 2023 remains operational until amended by the National Assembly. The spokesman of the House
Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Sydney Okafor. In keeping with his administration commitment to delivering quality education for students in Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has officially owned state-of-the-art classroom blocks, complete with a mini football pitch and a multi-purpose sports court at Keme Balogun Junior Senior College in Ibeshe, Ikorodu. The inauguration marked the commissioning of 16 state-of-the-art classroom blocks secondary schools facilitated by the Special Committee on the Rehabilitation of Public Schools across the 6 Lagos State, in line with the state's 10 plugs agenda. Please take a look at the new state-of-art classroom blocks for secondary schools.
The committee is expected to improve the quality of education. Governor Sanwo-Olu, who was received by a large crowd of residents and students, said the simultaneous inauguration of 16 new blocks of classrooms across the state is a testament to his administration's commitment to providing top-quality education for all residents. The governor further emphasized that the construction and renovation of these schools not only improve educational quality but also create jobs, stimulate the local economy, and provide livelihoods for workers involved in the projects.
Do one commission or two, we have to do it in concurrent and in large number. And today, in the past 1.5 months, we've been commissioning roads, we've been commissioning drainages. Now is the education sector, which is under a team plus agenda. For some of you that are monitoring, earlier today, we went and commissioned the very ultra-modern, beautiful classroom block in a brand new school of Ajegunle Junior High School in Koshofe local government area on our way here. Also today, with the Parliament and one of cabinet members, they've gone ahead to commission the Odogunyo Junior Grammar School, also here in Ikorodu. You can see that these ambitious events consolidate our commitment to development and pursuit of educational excellence and the social economic development in our state. Education, we say, is a cornerstone of our Teams Plus agenda. It's the engine that drives economic growth. It reduces inequality and empowers individuals to break the cycle of poverty. Even in these schools of our various communities. Earlier today, and you could see it from the video, I was deeply moved when we went to the Ajay Junior High School. This was a community that has been denied for the past almost 15 years. When heavy flooding ravaged the entire community, and they lost the only school that. But about 2.5 years ago, they did wrote to us passionately, and we did responded. Driving into that community this morning brings a nostalgia of the real essence of governance. When government make a promise and you keep a promise. Not only have we done the road into that community, that school had almost 150 pals. We did not consider the extent of what resource we needed to do to give that community a befitting world-class educational institution. And they also have the sporting grounds because a canteen and a food pitch was also constructed.
Yes. Other speakers say the structures would not only enhance academic excellence, but also provide a conducive environment for learning.
Your action consistently reflects the premium you place on learning, demonstrating a deeper appreciation for its transformative power. Indeed, this is a journey to your dedication to educational advancement and holistic well-being of our students.
Keme Balogun got our attention following instructions from Mr. Governor when he got information that the first state of the classroom blocks had 3 bungalows here before. To my left here, you see 2 bungalows still existing. In between those 2 bungalows, there is another one. So when we came here, we realized that they are all in derelict situations. We conducted some soil tests, and the result of the soil test immediately advised that we need to demolish one of the bungalows. When we did that, it became obvious that the classroom rate to student ratio was not adequate. The population spiked, and as a result, when we approached Mr. Governor, the situation we are having here, he instructed the construction of the edifice you are seeing to my right. Thank you very much, sir. To do this building, typical with our modus operandi, standard operators of scripts that have been laid down by Mr. in this environment, to be going to put this, assume that Ikorodu generally insisted we go through because we don't want to have any collapse.
The Lagos government says it has constructed about 1,290 blocks of classrooms across the 6 education districts of the state and also rehabilitated over 4,000 classrooms in both primary and secondary schools in the state within 6 years. It's promised to deliver some of the ongoing road projects in Ikorodu and build more primary and secondary schools for the benefit of the residents.
Education in the nation, so it's to be paid, to pay close attention. But where I want improvement is the teachers, because teachers can only teach what they know. So our teachers in those schools need more trainings because they can't give what they don't have. What I've observed is that some of the teachers are not even qualified to teach, so they should pay attention to this. Their trainings, they need to be trained to train. If they don't have the training, no matter what facility they put down, nothing will, because it's what goes into the hearts of the children that will come out in the society. So education is very fundamental. It's a vital key to the development of a state, a nation, or any take on that. Because if you have a teacher that knows what they are teaching, the children will well and they will understand what they are learning. Teachers determine how, because these teachers they're like role models to the students.
We shouldn't even be thanking them for that. It is the right of every Nigerian to be educated. Constitutionally, at least from the primary school to second school, at least every Nigerian had right to that educational stages of the stages. Then, for me, I believe we are still lagging. So many out of school children, especially in the north, we are better off here in the south, but we can do more. We have always taken the forefront in terms of education. We continue to do more. There are so many of our children out there who are not in school today. If the education is made affordable, the classrooms are moved closer to those children, there wouldn't be any need for them to trek miles before getting to their school or entering buses that will take them kilometers before they get to their school. Schools should be brought closer to them, and if it's not brought closer to them, there should be programs, facilities that will ensure that they are taken to brought back home. Then again, it's even nice for any ward to school, especially where the government has provided the needed classrooms. And I believe, while I do not want to thank the government because it is right of every Nigerian to go to school. I believe they should do more, and they are trying. I want to appreciate them for that.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello, Alahaji. Right now I'm in Abuja. No. Hello? Right? Yes. When I get back, I'll just... Look, what is wrong with you? I'm talking on the phone and you are gesticulating and doing... What's wrong with you?
Daddy, where exactly are you?
Are you alright? This is Lagos.
Why to someone that we are in Abuja?
Keep quiet. Who told you can tell an elderly person is lying?
Daddy, you just lied. And by lying, you are raising corrupt children for the future of Nigeria. That is corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center
which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. That is truly commendable by the governor. Our next story focuses on the commissioning of the new bus terminal in Abule Egba suburb of Orile Agege Local Council Development Area in Lagos State, which has now been integrated into a expanding network of modernized public stations connecting various. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu officially commissioned the newly completed Abule Egba bus terminal, aimed at improving and facilitating seamless mass transportation between suburb and other parts of metropolis. Can we take a look?
This new Abule Egba bus terminal has officially been opened to the public by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu alongside his deputy Femi Amzat and other stakeholders. The law is part of Governor Sanwo-Olu administration's commitment to build a seamless and integrated transportation network that provide Lagos residents with improved daily commuting. The governor, speaking at the end, disclosed that the project is a fulfillment of his pledge to upgrade the public transportation system for the people of Lagos.
Today, here in the ever-bustling Abule Egba, we're here to hand over to the people another public infrastructure that will aid their seamless commuting from here to other parts of Lagos and even perhaps to other parts of the country. This reflects our commitment to continuously enhance our public transportation system. We're strengthening connectivity and we're improving the overall experience of our commuters. We are dedicated to taking ongoing steps to advance and to modernize public transportation across the state. You see that in addition to the blue line, to the red line that are in operation, you are aware making moves to kickstart green from Marina. You're also aware stage haven't done some feasibility on the purple line, which is a 60-kilometer from Volkswagen, which is an offshoot from the blue line, to all the way into Ogun State, the redemption camp by Mowe. We believe these are all connectivity that will enhance the real infrastructure. Recall sometime last year that we went and signed MOU with Czech and the Ministry of Finance Incorporated to bring about the fusion of the Green Line. And I'm happy that work is starting very soon. Discussions are in our stages. Designs and drawings are being completed. And before of Green Line project, when completed, even has a capacity to carry well over 6,000 passengers at its peak. And so this is big public transportation solution that we're about. I'm happy that I'm happy that our rail infrastructure continue to contribute to the unity of Lagosians. To further enhance that, we are also improving and enhancing our bus services. We are anticipating the arrival of new CNG buses and electric buses by the third quarter of this year. They are being produced as we speak, and I believe everything will be done preparatively to begin to receive these buses before the end of this year. This, we believe, would be a major addition to our current fleet, which will improve availability of buses and reduce waiting times at all bus corridors.
Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation Oluwaseun Osiyemi, through his permanent secretary, said the state policy reflects the government's commitment to safe, reliable and affordable transportation for all residents.
This is more so as the movement of commuters, goods and services from place to place are vital and inseparable aspects of global and urban economic survival. Over the years, the Lagos State Ministry of Transportation has reflected the contemporary realities and the vision of the present administration as regards beginning negotiations with an efficient and effective transport system. This informed the various policies the ministry adopted to ensure reduction in traffic congestion at places where otherwise motorists and commuters spend many unproductive hours in traffic. You will all recall the executive order signed by Mr. Governor on traffic management, following which very critical junctions were identified and remodeled to mitigate traffic gridlock. The government has worked on these junctions to engender better traffic flow. We can attest to the salutary effects of such improvement on Allen roundabout, Lekki first and second roundabout, and the ongoing improvement at Tony Okpebi Allen and at the border subdivision areas. To better manage traffic-related issues such as overspeeding and indiscipline on the road, the government, the ministry, has installed ITS in some areas of Lagos State. We have installed police sites at Allen Avenue Junction and Nuruddin Olookoko Road. We have also installed road signs to inform motorists of these regulations. About a year ago, Mr. Governor unveiled the state transport policy, a roadmap to Lagos' brighter, more effective, efficient, and sustainable future. Mr. Governor informed that the policy became necessary to eliminate the barrage of transport challenges facing the state's transport system, ranging from traffic congestion to pollution and inadequate infrastructure. The Lagos State transport policy is a foundation of inclusivity, sustainability, and innovation. It embodies the government's commitment to providing safe, reliable, and affordable transportation options for all residents, regardless of their socio-economic status or location within the state, as well as integrating our various modes of transportation. The soon-to-be commissioned Abelegba bus terminal therefore reflects the letters and spirit of the Lagos State transport policy. It is to provide a central place for connecting to different parts of Lagos, and based on this, I want to congratulate Mr. Governor on commissioning yet another impactful and life-changing infrastructure for the Abelegba community of Agege and the entire Lagos State. Mr. Governor, please be assured of our desire to continue to work until the last hour of this administration to bring your vision and that of the state government to reality.
This administration prioritizes traffic management and transport as the first pillar of its Themes Plus agenda. The Lagos State government has been and is still investing in the provision of infrastructure for public transportation, including rail, bus services, and water transportation. To properly coordinate bus operations in communities, bus terminals are necessary and are thus provided. Bus terminals are important because they provide a central location for passengers to board and exit buses and connect to other forms of transportation. To date, the Lagos State government has provided bus terminals in Ikeja, Oshodi, Transit Interchange, Aja, Oyingbo, Yaba, Ojota, Ifakoijae, and now at Abeba. Iyano Ipaja bus terminal is currently also under construction. Like other terminals before this, Abule Egba terminal has loading bays, a terminal building with a service area, restaurants and other commercial service staff and other BOCs, public conveniences, a water treatment plant, and provision for green energy, amongst others.
This development has created Abule Egba, located in the Orile Agege Local Council Development Area into Lagos's growing network of communities connected by modern public bus stations. Abule-Egba residents have commended the governor for the project but urged for affordable bus fares.
Abule-Egba too is moving forward. If you look at the Abule-Egba and they've changed it compared to 5-10 years backward because I lived at Songo, something like that. But they've changed the face of Lagos as a whole, and they are building gradually. So I will tell Lagos State as a whole that they should remember us in Badagry. Presently, I reside in Badagry. God will help them. They've tried concerning the express road there, and God will help them to do more and more to all sectors, all areas in Lagos State. Up Lagos State, up Nigeria.
When you are partaking in BRT buses, it applies to everyone, whether you own a car or you don't. It decongest the traffic on the highways, so everybody don't have to put their cars on the road. So sometimes, if you don't have a special function, you can just leave your car back home and make use of the public transport, like the BRT. So the one in Abule-Egba, I think it's like, you know, and because that place is heading towards Ogun State, Abeokuta. So if you are able to get there faster, you can, you know, continue your journey to other areas. And people that are staying there, they can easily live like in outskirts of Lagos, while they live there, and they can go to work and come back on time without wearing out. So it's helping the masses a lot.
Sanwo-Olu added that the state expects new CNG and electric buses by the third quarter of 2025 with the aim to enhance Lagos bus services. He also urged residents to take ownership of the project to prevent vandalism of the infrastructure.
Welcome back. Reaping the benefits of taxpayers' money. Kudos to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his team. Well, that's all we have on this episode of Lagos Voices. I'm Sydney Okafor. Thank you for watching.
Abdullahi Dalhatu began grape farming at Dufa Dufa village in Kudang local government area of Nigeria's northwest Kaduna state in 2003. Today, he's one of the very few Nigerian farmers growing grapes in commercial quantity in the country. And he's also the current national president of Grape Producers, Processors and Marketers Association of Nigeria.
What motivates me to go into grape farming is the potentiality associated with the grape farming activities. Because a grape farmer is raising handsome profit, is raising handsome income in grape farming. Because I doubt if there is another aspect of farming in agriculture which is highly lucrative than grape farming in Nigeria. I have started with the only one varieties of grapes called Black Hamburg. So it's only one varieties I am cultivating here, but now I am growing 7 different varieties of grapes. I have started with only 15 stand of grapes, but now I have more than 1,650 stand of grapes in this farm. Comprise the different varieties as I have said. Actually, I have started it from the small scale, but now it was a large scale.
Grape farming is rare in Nigeria. In fact, many had always thought it's almost near impossible to grow grapes in the country, since the overwhelming bulk of grapes consumed in Nigeria come from abroad.
When I saw the clip showing this project as a result of the visit of the chairman of the local government, I should be impressed, but I was also surprised and wonder whether this is also true. And that is why after the whole thing has gone viral, a lot of people within the country and outside the country have called me to ask me whether this is actually true, because they believe this is a treasure. And I told them that I will not tell them it is true, although my chairman has come and seen it. But as somebody who is within the domain, and the area is within my domain, I must see it. That this is act magic, it's not any photo magic, it is a reality. From what I have seen, I'm extremely happy, and I must do whatever is humanly possible to encourage the gentlemen and other people that have started this project through any means possible. Intervention, government contact, any other thing that will bring more publicity to this project.
Data from the Observatory of Economic Complexity, OEC, estimates Nigeria's grapes import at over $8 million in 2023, while exporting a meager $36,000 worth of the fruit in the same year. But Dalhatu is working to change that narrative.
Since we discovered that most of the grape being consumed in Nigeria is being imported from abroad, so it's part of our vision to ensure that we promote the grape farming locally in Nigeria, so that our country will be self-sufficient in grape production, marketing, and export. So in the next future, I'm sure, in the next future time, I'm sure Nigeria, the dependency of grape importation in Nigeria will reduce up to 55%, so that we can rely on our local production and reach also the level of export with Nigerian locally grape productions.
Dalhatu says grape farming has been more than rewarding. It goes beyond.
The grape marketing is so friendly in Nigeria because of the quality and the quantity of grapes we are producing. We are receiving different customers across the country coming and take and buy our product. Even international marketers are coming direct to this farm and access and buy our product due to its quality standard, the sugar content, the longer shelf life, and the quality of the product producing. We have the benefit of climate to get 2 good harvests per year, contrary to what is happening in the other countries. Based on the favorable climate we are blessed with, so we used to have a bumper harvest of 2 times in a year.
For now, Dalhatu grows only table grapes, which are widely consumed in Nigeria. But it says it's making plans that grow in wine grapes as well.
Grapes is a type of plant that has so many varieties. So Nigerian, we are only, as I told you, that we are only have the capacity to produce 7 different varieties of grapes. So we need more exotic and improved varieties. And most of that varieties are high-yielding varieties that will enable Nigeria multiple numbers of tons in a harvest. So we need hybrid varieties of grape seedlings.
So far, Dalhatu has trained over 50 persons in grape farming here at his farm. Almost all his trainees have gone on to start their own grape farm, as grape farming comes with some familiar challenges.
One of the challenges is that inadequate water supply. Plants that require insufficient water supply is one of the factors that reducing the growth and development of grape value chain. And the second challenge is faced by our grape farmers inadequate of hybrid seed varieties. Then the third problem we are facing is the storage infrastructure facilities, because there are situations whereby our grape farmers in Nigeria used to face the risk of losses due to the rain intervention. At the point of ripening, grape farmers face the risk of rainfall and problem which will damage of so many tons of grapes. So if there were to be more storage facilities like a cold room, that will enable both the producer and the marketers to reduce the level of risk, because when it was stored in a cold storage, the grapes will have access for a longer time before it damaged. Then another problem is all farmers need financial support. So I'm sure if government will provide financial support to grape farmers by having a conducive and favorable climatic condition for growing grapes, I'm sure the rate of unemployment will drastically reduce.
Despite the challenges, Dalhatu is still marching on, his passion for grape farming unwavering as he embarks on the ambitious mission to help make Nigeria self-sufficient in grapes. Deji Bademasi, TV360.
Ayetoro community is a theocratic communist setting funded by a group of believers known as the Apostles in 1947. Ayetoro community in its heydays has the largest per capita income in the whole of West Africa. Initially, Ayetoro community was 15 to 20 kilometer landmass away from the sea. But as it stands now, more than 10 kilometers of the total landmass has gone into the sea. And this frequent surge is attributed to emission from multinational oil companies off the coasts of our land, minding the environment.
This is one of the Nigeria base. A lot of people you see in the offshore were trained here. Both mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, and nautical engineer were trained in this bush. Yes, this bush, I call this place bush. And this is the Shepherd Technical Workshop approved by the IWD, which is now Minister of Transport. This means the colonial time.
So, and our primary occupation here is fishing. You can see now, everything now has been eroded. Some of our fishermen, they have went to other places to find for their source of livelihood.
It's just a sudden that we have been experiencing sea culture coming every day by day. And since that time, we have been making effort because we are law-abiding citizens. We believe that we cannot engage ourselves in a radical ways because we believe that by protesting, writing letters, federal government can come to our aid. By the videos, a lot of things we have been doing since we have been expressing the Sea Church.
I'm shooting. That area, that is the iconic worship center. Yeah, that wood. That is the iconic worship center. Over there, community service center here, over there. Then at the same time, the major streets where other minor streets were linked to has been permanently submerged by the ocean surge.
I am seriously worried. I'm worried because this recurrency surge is affecting us in virtually all human aspects of our life. Social life has been collapsed, economic-wise has been collapsed, health-wise, nothing to sing and dance home about. Even our religious activities, our life, religious life, has been collapsed totally. Because Ayeto community is a religious setting. The church moved here. We have not just come here to trade or to other. The church. So every amazing such to this parties what million has collapsed. Over 500 to 600 was our industrial power has been collapsed. Ayeto community is known to be a self-developed community on its own without any intervention of the federal government or the state government over the years. Yet we kept on going. If by now the ocean surge as a result of the oil exploration that is going on in our offshore is destroying our land, up till now we cannot see the hand of the government coming to help and to rescue us. It is so sad, and that's why I'm worried.
Ṣé ẹ bá wo gbogbo ibi ilé ló kún bẹ̀, gbogbo ilé yẹn ni òkun ti parẹ́ pátápátá. Bó dẹ̀ ṣe ń wó ilé yẹn ló ń wó gbogbo àwọn ohun àlùmọ́nì wa, àwọn ohun tí a ní ilé, ẹrù wa, ìmíì gan tó bá ń báyìí tí a bá tètè dìsámúra àti gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, ó gbé gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ nìyẹn.
Fund the trip of those guys.
This thing is excruciating, it is extreme. In fact, every blessed day, people used to die because of the thing at the community. So it is extreme, it is serious, it is harrowing.
My father's house happened to be the extreme house before the Atlantic Ocean. We lost it 2017. 2007, that was when we lost it. It's highly devastating. Even the one that belonged to my grandmother road was affected. I'm highly devastated. Now I'm a tenant in my hometown. Imagine how is it highly devastating. We need support of the entire world to save this community. Ayeto community is a community that must not go into extinction. It's a very serious situation.
So the community is divided into two, the up and the down. So the up is reserved for the male. Why do that? Because they want them to access the sea quickly because of the equipment engaging. Then the downside is reserved for the female, so that they can dry their fishes. The Atlantic breeze is coming from the up, so that the smoke will not disturb the community from up. That was why the downside for the women, so that their kitchen can be the downside. So you have Bale, Abejoye, Korodun Aneroye, Adedoyin, Alebiosun, Bishop, Arojolu. Then so after Arojolu you have the information house or the glass house as we used to call it.
So where's the glass house now?
It's gone already.
It's some months already.
That is where all informations regarding the Ayeto community, people coming just like you came now. All informations you buy your trip, what you are going to do, when you are going to, you go back, so it will be documented before you go into the community. That was how it was done. Then the city hall or civil center, there too, all of them have gone. After city hall, you have Ojomo Street is gone too. So behind Ojomo, we have the church building, the church street and the church building. It's gone already.
And that is very important.
Very situated that night of the slave when they came in. We have Ajayi. Then in Ajayi Street, you have the first Ogelo Imbo Palace built with wood. So that one is gone too. We have the Olowojai. Then after Olowojai, you have the shoe making industry.
There used to be a shoemaking
industry. One of the industry, a small scale industry there. Then behind this industry too. So we have after it's shoemaking and then we have Omogbe. Then after Omogbe we have the carpentry workshop. So the carpentry workshop too is currently threatening. Half of it is gone into into the sea. And then you have Tobase. Then after the Tobase street there, a mini supermarket. There's a mini supermarket there. So after the mini supermarket is where you have Oyetomi Street. So from the upside,
where's the mini supermarket?
This is just behind the what's it called?
But it's still there.
We can still find it there. So after the what's called the mini supermarket, you have Oyetomi Street. So from the main side now, from the main side, those the main streets, Oyetomi Street is the only surviving street you can find up.
And it's been threatened.
It's threatened. In almost we only have just 2 buildings.
That is where my mother's father's house was situated, and it has been eroded.
Just 2 houses.
And your fear now is that this side, where the female side might be affected, like everybody has moved to this side now.
Yes. So, but most of the male living with their wives. So, it's only one that downside where you have the.
And this broad street is no longer
gone completely. It's gone completely. Where you can have the broad street, the beauty of the broad street now, it's around the Block Palace. That's where you can have the beauty of the broad street.
Okay.
How it looks like.
Church wa gangan the main church táwọn baba ńlá wa kọ́ ó ti wó àtúnkọ́ mi ó tún wó.
The church is where all the inhabitants of this land we gather to worship God, because that was the revelation our forefathers received. This place is a Christian utopian religious community for the service of God.
It has actually changed the landscape totally. Let me put it that way. Why do I say so? It's because when you look at the land mass, as at when our founding fathers came here, about 20 or 10, 15 kilometers to the shore. So people had to trek. I think Dr. Noge wrote a book about Ayeto community. That the only challenges that because Ayeto is known for fishing, the only challenges that they are having, it is the accessibility to the shore. Too. That is as at that time, and it's been a long time. So it has actually changed the landscape, and we are worried about it.
This is the community technical college. Here we are. Now you can see now these are debris has been ravaged by the sea surge. Now that place, that is the bakery that we are using before. This last month, and we relocated to another place. So it is serious. That is the powerhouse generating plant. It has been affected, greatly affected by those surge. We also have docking marine boats were built in the past. That place has been submerged as well. So nothing to write home about in the community again. All our social, cultural activities has gone. The secondary schools has been relocated for about.
Now the community will no longer in existence because 2/3 of the community has gone already.
My fear is if something's function is not taken on the part of men to search this land, perhaps we might anyway. The question. We don't want that because our community has helped the government, even the West Africa, in terms of because when Ayeto was expert in marine engineering, in nautical engineering, and they are serving all the offshore. Ayeto community has just filmed a history of because beauty are local painter, and those people that are even the beauty, they were still alive. Check our featuring news national is there.
If prompt and urgent action is not taken within, let me say, within the space of 2 months, where we stand here, we no longer be, and that is we are appealing to the federal government as a matter of urgency and exigency to please rescue, so that Ayetoro is a historic community, that it will not become a thing of history. That is the Niger Delta Development Commission and the DOPAD, Ondo State Area Commission, to please come to our rescue, so that this glorious community will not become
begging. Federal, we are begging all relevant agencies to please aid.
Now appealing.
Many thanks for joining us again on the newsroom. Seeking to stop anyone above 60 years from buying to law, President Tinubu, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and the 2023 presidential candidate contest, as they are all above 61 of the 31 second in during Thursday's plenary. And the press has expressed that Kano State remains a stronghold for the All Progressives Congress AC ahead of the 2027 elections. He attributed this to the of their Senator Bashir Lado, speaking during a advisors in Lado's office at National Assembly. During seamless and confidential communication between the executive and the Senate, describing its performance as unprecedented. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission socialite Aisha while it made this that the case rate is at 9 Bank States.